Bitcoin down 5.6%. I haven't got a clue why. I presume someone smarty pants out there will say it's because of some forced liquidation, it's because of so and so, so and so. But when an asset class can move so aggressively, and I haven't seen any decent copy, and I'm going to say this, on CNBC, on the FT, on Reuters, on Bloomberg, on every one of those major market sources out there. I've seen no one coming up with a conclusive idea of why a major asset is down 6%. That, for me, is the problem with crypto. The fact that random events can move so aggressively and no one's got a clue why.
There is no explanation for this crash. Is it just another liquidity grab, or is it market manipulation? Or could this quite possibly have already been shown in the charts? So much FUD around strategy, Michael Saylor, yet they come out today with a $1.4 billion reserve to pay their dividends and holding 650,000 Bitcoin. Yet the question remains, what do those green dots on the chart actually mean, Michael? Franklin Templeton, easy peasy, adding a fresh lineup to their crypto index ETF. XRP is absolutely on there, and many in the XRP army obviously celebrating as would be expected. Is this going to bring fresh liquidity and buys and inflows into XRP? Is this already priced into the charts? Don't shoot the messenger, but we are going to jump into the technicals a little bit later on. The deception, however, continues with record numbers in sales this Black Friday and holiday shopping weekend. Those little pricklies keep getting in the way with the buy now, pay later sales expecting to hit record highs of $20 billion between November 1st and December 31st. Those who are paying attention are wondering, if people don't have money to buy anything, where is the liquidity going to come from to pump the crypto markets and the stock markets into oblivion? So does that mean that a pump isn't coming? Well, there are signs. If you want to know what's about to happen, you can look at indicators. One of those is silver, which is priced at $58 an ounce for the first time in history. It's up 100% in 2025. There are other indicators. One particularly will catch your eye in the charts in a little bit later on. But if you're sick and tired of waiting around for the markets to move, for liquidity to flow in, for clarity acts and genius bills to do what they're supposed to do according to the influencers that we've all heard talk about, take the bull by the horns and get into Altcoin Pro University. The Black Friday 7-day free trial ends tonight at midnight Pacific Standard Time, so you only have a few hours left to get down there in the link below and sign up at altcoinpro.com to get 100 expert classes, live weekly calls from our research team, daily altcoin picks, DeFi yields, airdrop alerts, private global community state-of-the-month market reports, 20% partner commissions, plus the annual only bonuses if you decide to stay as an annual member. The best part about all this is that it turns into a 21-day completely risk-free trial if you sign up right now. You're going to get a 7-day free trial and our always unconditional 14-day money-back guarantee. Guys, the door is closing on this. This is an opportunity we've never done before. We don't know if we're ever going to do it again. So get down into the link below. And while you're down there, give me a comment, 777, if you're feeling bullish and you're feeling blessed. You're ready to jump into the rest of the epic breaking crypto news in this video. Just the truth, no rumors. And if you're ready to be the first millionaire in your family, smash that like button, hit subscribe to affirm it, and let's run into the video. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel again. JR, your favorite crypto dad, and the bull market peak indicators at CoinGlass still hovering around that 42% completion. Bitcoin dominance sitting at 58.68%. The indicator itself being about 90% complete, and these are some of the first ones to flash before a bull market would ensue, but we are not there yet. Despite what many are saying, we're going to jump into the charts. I don't think that we're there quite yet. There are price predictions floating around $13 XRP. XRP is holding the line close to $2. There is a very strong level of support right now, but there also is in Bitcoin. The question is, will we hold it? And if not, how low will we go? Let's jump into that, guys. But first, let's get back into this economic data. Consumer credit is at an all-time high. It is at the highest it's ever been since being recorded. And Klarna saw 45% year-over-year increase in the U.S. sales from November 1st through Black Friday. Footwear, tech, beauty, all home goods performing very strongly. But the hard truth is that buy now, pay later usage surged this Black Friday, rising 9% overall, with the adoption especially strong among the younger consumers. 41% of shoppers ages 16 to 24 are using buy now, pay later. Younger millennials increasing their usage by an astonishing 87% compared with last year. High-income households are leaning into this as well, with 38% of those earning over $100,000 a year using buy now, pay later services. Notably, the trend is expanding beyond discretionary items. 25% of all buy now, pay later users are now relying on this to finance groceries, according to Reuters. Americans making less than $150,000 to $175,000 a year are running groceries on credit in this country. Guys, you know me. Don't buy the news, sell the rumors. Everything's based on data. And when it comes to the data, my question is, where is the liquidity going to come from? For the first time since the inception of Bitcoin, we saw a bull run in Bitcoin, but we had no altcoin season, no meme coins, no dust bags from 4 years ago coming back around to give us a little Christmas bonus this year. Everything has relied for XRP on ETF news. Inflows from the ETFs has not produced XRP blow-off tops. ISO 222 obviously did nothing for the XRP price. The hard pill to swallow for XRP is that while the technology from Ripple, the company, is being used as intended, XRP is not providing the liquidity that everybody has expected in the XRP army that it would. So we're not seeing the $10,000 XRP or the $589 XRP to package one currency into it and unwrap it into another currency. Does it mean that we'll never get there? No, it doesn't. But at the same time, how long are you willing to wait? How long are you willing to sit on that bag and not take any profits until you finally realize that you could be making your XRP work for you? Guys, Altcoin Pro University is not only where we get market updates or crypto news, but it's also where we get altcoin picks and specifically DeFi yield picks. I'm not going to talk much about this in this video because you can jump into the link down below and still sign up for free. DeFi yields earning 12 to 20% APY. 100% APY, 39% APY, 26% APY. Have you made that on your XRP? And if you did, why didn't you take profits? That's my last question I have for you guys before we jump into the charts. I hate to be a stickler about this information today, but I'm kind of sick and tired of sitting back and watching people waste good opportunities that lie in front of them. There, I'm off my soapbox. Let's jump into the market data. CoinMarketCap showing fear and greed index is still sitting at a 20. Quick refresh shows that we're at $2.88 trillion for the total market cap. Altcoin season index is up to a 25. Altcoin total market cap is down at $1.19 trillion. A little bit of liquidity started flowing back into Bitcoin, but not enough to do it. Guys, when we talked about silver being a leading indicator as well as gold for where the markets are headed, a bigger one right now is Bitcoin. If you look at Bitcoin compared to the NASDAQ, see that we had our October 6th high on Bitcoin, and then we ran up for a high following that on the NASDAQ. An October 10th liquidity grab following in both cases. The NASDAQ diverged and went up at the same time as Bitcoin running down. And the NASDAQ caught up and it started its downtrend as well. Right now, we see the NASDAQ running up after Bitcoin had its small run up, and now we've seen our liquidity grab or market manipulation or whatever you want to call it. Quite honestly, I think it's built into the charts. But we've seen our dump in Bitcoin only about 5, 6, 7% in the last 24 hours. And obviously we're climbing our way back up that wick right there. That would be the next move that I would expect to see in the NASDAQ. Now, if you're in the stock markets, great. If you're not in the stock markets, what do you care? All we care about is crypto, right? Well, well-diversified portfolios, that's where it's at. So Bitcoin, where do we go from here? And that's where I quite honestly have to tell you guys, I've been pointing this out on my charts. Again, these are my charts, not yours. This is not financial advice. This is simply my technicals, and I hope that they give you a more well-rounded perspective. But when we look at my charts, we've been looking at strong support around $86,000 to $88,000, 87 marks, what I've been talking about. We can jump down here to our lower level of support, 78 to 80,000, where we wicked off of on the last run down ending on the 21st of November. We touched back off of that, about 83, 84,000 just in the last 24 hours, and we've been bouncing off of that. The question is, if we don't get back above 90,000 and we meet resistance right in there, we're going to reject, we're going to move down. If we move to the downside, I'm still keeping an eye on this level right here. This is the 1100 EMA ribbon that's moving right through here. I look at the Wolfpack indicator down here, which is on the daily, it's still showing bullish. But the Wolfpack indicator is when the 1100 crosses over the 50. And on the wolf pack, we are currently still showing bullish because the last time it crossed over was the 1100 moving above the 50. What I'm looking for, though, is this very strong institutional grade marker, the 1100 EMA, to be touched off of for a low. This is $72,000 to $74,000 on Bitcoin. Do I think that we're going to go down there right away? No, not necessarily, but I do think that that's the next place we go before we bounce. My evidence for that would simply be looking at historical data. That would be touching the mid-cycle low that we had back here in April. Doesn't take much to zoom out when in doubt and look back at 2021 and how things went. Early 2021, we made a high. We came down for a mid-cycle low. We made our new all-time high at the end in November. When we ran back down, you have your complacency, your final capitulation highs right here, and we ended up stopping right around that $30,000 mark, which was the mid-cycle low. It took black swan events like a collapse of Anchor Protocol, Terra Luna, depegging its stablecoin to finally drop down from there. But barring any black swan events, I would think that 72 to 74,000 puts us right there, the 1100 EMA, mid-cycle low, as a place to bounce. When we look at Ethereum, which is a much stronger retail indicator, look at that 1100 EMA right there, guys. We have bounced off of it. We bounced off of it before, clearly reversing, just like we did on Bitcoin. We tapped right off of the 1100 on the daily. That's a really strong indicator to me that that has bounced. I think that we hold support there. I don't see a lot of liquidity moving in because nobody's really got any money. Maybe stimulus money could change that just like it did in 2020 and 2021, because quite honestly, that's what it's going to take to get retail buying risk assets again. We see the same thing on Solana. Solana is actually below its 1100 EMA, so we want to be coming back up above that. And then if we jump into XRP, it paints a slightly different picture. XRP is holding strong for a couple of reasons. One, there are inflows right now from ETFs, but also the retail investors are just holding. They're hodling. They're hodling for dear life. Raise your hands in the comments down below if you're sitting on XRP that you've never sold. No shame about it. Like, no judgment. Just if you've never sold your XRP. Quite honestly, I have opinions about that. I think that everybody should find a profit-taking strategy and stick to it. But if we look at XRP, we are holding very strong. We are also following that same trend as Bitcoin. But we have an 1100 down here that's just like it is on Bitcoin. So if we are mirroring Bitcoin, the downside risk puts us right at about $1.50, $1.51. If we go down there, maybe people will start buying the dip. Maybe we'll get another run to the upside, and maybe it'll be just like Bitcoin. We've seen crashes in Bitcoin in the past of 30 to 50% and very quick rebounds for a 5 or 6 or 10x from there. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but what I am saying is that I do believe that there's more downside risk. So depending on who you're listening to and where you're getting your information, my only question for that would be, is that strategy working for you? My next question would be, if it isn't, are you willing to take some profits and diversify your portfolio at this point? And if that's of interest to you, we've got one more question for you.
What if you could trade with $100,000 without ever risking any of your own capital? Well, I'm doing it right now, trading a 100K funded account with zero of my own money on the line. I just paid a one-time evaluation fee to take a trading test. That's it. Because everyone's been asking us, how do I get crypto loans? Or how do you leverage trade without risking any of your own capital? Well, that's exactly why we're leveraging Breakout, which is a crypto prop trading firm recently acquired by Kraken with over 10 million clients, 2.5 million funded accounts, and over $1.5 billion in revenue in 2024 alone. They will fund you up to $200,000 after passing one simple trading test. And you get to keep up to 90% of the profit, and you can withdraw in USDC 24/7 after passing the trading test through the link in the description of this video. Now, here's the problem that I've seen most people face. Let's say you're trading with $10,000 of your own money. That's your rent. That's your groceries. That's an emergency fund. And one bad trade or black swan event and poof, your account is completely blown. Rent's late, savings is wiped, and your family is stressed out. So you're not trading to win. Trading your own money is trading for survival. Whereas trading with 100K of risk-free capital is freedom. In fact, if you only have $10,000, you should never be trading with all of that. Instead, if you took just 10%, which is $1,000, and you buy the 100K or the 200K breakout test, and you pass the test, well, you're going to be trading with 6 figures without depositing or risking any of your own money. This is what I'm doing right now. And if you fail the test, you only lose $1,000 instead of your $10,000 because you shouldn't even be trading with $10,000 of your own money in the first place if you can't pass a simple $1,000 trading test. And the best part is there's no limit on retries. So that $1,000 can give you 10 shots at a 100K account if you fail the first few. That's 10x better risk management. And that's how you prove you actually know what you're doing. And this is the smartest strategy that the best traders in the world use. That's OPM, other people's money. You pass the test, you trade Kraken's money, and you get to keep up to 90% of the profits. And you can withdraw USDC on demand 24/7. So I paid, I passed, and now I'm trading 100K, and it only cost me $1,000 rather than risking $100,000 of my own money. And now it's your turn. So do not buy the small test. You're here to scale your portfolio fast. So here's exactly what you need to do right now. I left a link in the description of this video, and when you click it and select the classic one-step 100K or 200K account test, you simply click start trading, and then you enter in the affiliate code 777 on your checkout to get the maximum discount on your 100K or 200K funded account. And make sure to check the add-on box for the 90% profit split. It's only $100 extra. It pays for itself in your first payout, and if you skip it, you're leaving 10% on the table forever, so it's well worth it. Then you simply pay for the test, you pass it, you have an unlimited time frame, and you get to keep up to 90% of the profits. And again, you can withdraw in USDC anytime that you want after you pass the test. That's it. Now, we do earn a small commission when you use our code 777, but it supports value-based videos like this, and it'll help you get the maximum discount on your 100K or 200K funded account test. So click the link in the description right now, take the test, and let's get you funded.
Guys, remember that code 777. Let's see where XRP and where Bitcoin and the rest of crypto is going to go. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.